Welcome to the Crescendo with Ian Ira Rousso. My name is Ian Ira Rousso. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment, something, anything. Cool, let's do this.
It's been a very long time since I've seen you. How's LA?
It's been raining the last couple days. It's a little cloudy,
Ah,
right?
yes.
Yeah. And
But yesterday was nice, right?
yeah, yesterday was pretty nice. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I'm still I'm grateful right now that I'm able to do comedy in some sort of safe capacity, whatever that means. I mean, there's risks for whatever you do, but
What have you been doing? Like, what are the. Yeah.
sidewalks, parking lots, backyards. There was a brief stretch at the beginning, not the beginning, but like back in May, June, and July, I was doing people's living rooms. And then the surge happened, and I was like, nope, I'm going to sit that out for a bit.
Yeah. Are a lot of comics still going?
It's, I would say it's about, about like, there's probably like 100 comics in LA total that are doing it consistently, which before the pandemic, that wasn't even the amount of people that were showing up to sign up for potluck at the store, which was,
Yes. Is that the open mic?
yeah, every Monday.
Yeah. I went once and it was like chaos.
Yeah.
And then I was like with a bunch of gals and we just decided to get margaritas instead. So
Yeah. That sounds more fun.
yeah.
I do enjoy sticking around for like friends and family, but like every week it's I think I saw Luke Schwartz, who's one of the people in charge of curating potluck. He posted on Instagram that was like 316 people showed up for like 15 spots.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's going on out there? Why don't they just have more mics or something? I don't.
There a lot of places don't want to do them, and
like during the pandemic that happened?
No, this is before the pandemic.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the open mics are poison for business. Although the ironic part now is I've heard like some places doing parking lot mics said the comedy has literally been keeping them from closing.
Wow.
So it's like some bizarre I heard that about North Hollywood Diner, which is like an institution out here.
Wow.
Yeah. What's comedy like in New York right now? Is it going on in any?
Well, I mean, not it's so I decided pretty early on, and I'm really happy with this decision that I wasn't gonna like do comedy at just I was not really gonna try to do comedy indoors during this. And so right now I'm looking out my window and we have a horrible snowstorm. Like
Yes,
can't even can't even leave the house, sort of can't even walk the dog. So yeah, before the winter there was like park shows and stuff and I did some. It's just not the same. Some people didn't mind them. I didn't like them very much. And the shows that looked like awesome, I would not attend because the pictures were like, yeah, you're technically outside, but everybody crammed so close together. And I'm like, listen, I love stand-up comedy. I miss it so much. I even miss the shitty producing parts at this point. But I'm not going to kill people because I need to tell a fart joke. Like, it's just that important to me that I don't kill people for telling a fart joke. So, like, that's how I feel. And so I've done barely any stand-up. I did not do a Zoom show in 2020 because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And then in 2021, a friend who actually lives in LA was like, do my show. And I was like, you know what? It's the new year. And I tried it. And I was like, we made good money. The comics were funny. I still didn't like it. So I'm just not doing it.
It's outdoor comedy. As far as it has to be like socially distanced enough, or I'm just not. Yeah, I'm not gonna be into it. But at the bare minimum, I do find that being forced to project and forced to have better stage presence, at the very minimum, is making me somewhat better.
That's great.
Yeah, and I also I feel like I have all the artistic freedom in the world now that I don't have the pressure of bookers feeling like club bookers are gonna give me harsh notes or.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
cool.
God, it's such a different What a
Yeah,
difference a year makes.
I'm trying to just like use the time to do things that I didn't that I that I couldn't do or didn't have the time to do before.
Yeah.
So for me that's like just more writing. And I think I'm like lucky in that I love to write and I consider myself a writer first. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm just like, okay, I can't do stand up. I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to try to write and get some stuff done.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
This is the time if you could find anything creatively fulfilling, hold on to it, because like I also find that being immersed in something that you love that's creatively fulfilling, like it gives you a temporary break from all like the news, which last year hasn't been great.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, I was even writing topical jokes yesterday and I like the time passed so quickly because I love the word math of those and yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. It's a great way to pass the time. Where in LA do you live?
North Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just off the Sherman Way exit off the 170, if that means anything.
No, that North Hollywood I know, but the particulars I do
Yeah,
not.
okay. Yeah, I'm right under the landing pattern for Burbank Airport, which is a nice little alarm clock in the morning.
Do you live by yourself or do you have roommates?
Right now by myself.
Cool.
Yeah, after this, I'd like to. The ideal situation is consistent 9 to 5, and like if this podcast is still going on, which fingers crossed, like a 3-bedroom house with a garage and turn that into like a podcast studio.
Wow.
Yeah, Mark
That's
Maron
awesome.
style.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. God, how's
So
like
what are you doing for work now?
on an office temp?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Which I haven't been getting enough of those gigs, and I've felt very undervalued. I swear to God, I had one assignment in December, and I showed up like 3 days into the shift, and the guy that I was filling in for was back at my desk. And I was just like, all right. Thank you guys for telling.
Nope. Tell you.
Nope.
No.
It was just.
Sorry, that sucks.
No, I gotta. It's developing into a good bit. There's that. Like I think it's the beauty. I had a sense of humor about it. Like I saw him there. And like at first, I wasn't sure if I was being replaced or if that was the guy who I was filling in for. And like, so I immediately thought of the Seinfeld episode where George goes into his job every day, like it's like some office job, and like eventually the guy who is like taking off work, who's on vacation or something, he comes back. It made me think of that, so I at least had a sense of humor about it.
Yeah. That's what did the guy say?
No, it was like I told him I wasn't upset, and like he like looked at me like why would he be mad? Like what? Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the temp agency was nice. They paid me for the day. Like
that's great.
They felt awful.
That's great.
Yeah. Are you still writing? Was it NPR?
I am. The pandemic has changed that because I was writing jokes for a NPR show and some trivia games.
Okay.
But they don't need joke writers now because they changed the format of the show because of the pandemic and because they usually record it live with an audience. So
Gotcha.
It's less pre-written jokes and more like interviews and stuff. So I'm still writing games for them, but unfortunately not working as much for them because of that. But I have a book coming out in September, so that's what I mostly did during the pandemic so far.
Congratulations!
It's finished, and yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I had no idea. Wow.
Oh yeah, they're laying it out right now, and so I'll take another look at it before it goes to press. But yeah, I'm very excited about it.
What is it? A fiction?
Oh, it's because I was working for a trivia show and I've been hosting trivia this entire pandemic actually. It's a uplifting trivia book.
Okay, right on. Wow.
Yeah, it's called One Day Smarter and yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Wow, that's all. Well, I had no idea. Is this your first book?
It is the first book with my name on it. I used to work for a book packager when I was like 24, and so I ghost wrote a book there, and I was thanked in the acknowledgments, but that's it. So,
Gotcha.
so yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, ghost writing. That's a whole other animal. That sort of that's sort of fascinated me ever since I got into like BoJack Horseman, because that was like the whole
What?
thing. Did you ever watch it?
Yes, I
Okay,
actually rewatched it during this pandemic.
okay, yeah, I finished it for the first time at the beginning of the pandemic, and yeah, no, but the
It's
whole thing with
amazing.
brilliantly written show.
But what's the tie with the ghostwriter?
No, because that was the whole thing with at the beginning with Diane. Like that was her job. That's how she
Oh, I
was set
forgot
up.
about that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, it's thankless work.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing it for somebody where you're like really famous, we're making a
Yeah.
ton of money. But yeah, it was fun to do, but I mean, after working on a book, you just want your name on it real bad, you know?
Oh, there's certain elements because I think people, well, there's this sort of like getting your way, like getting on the in with like getting your first project out there. Like everybody I know who has a script in the door, they've been writing for someone for or been like an office PA, a staff a writer's assistant, writer's PA, all of that. They've been putting in their hours for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what my writing partner does. That's his job. He lives in LA and he's a writer's assistant. And yeah, we're ready to not be assistants.
Yeah, I'm ready to be an assistant because I'd like to start putting in those hours. But yeah, it's just like it's long hours and very high pressure. Yeah.
So what's that stuff behind you? What are all those like pieces of paper?
Good question. On this side, that is all my to-do list, like things I have to do. I have a little stamp that says completed, and I get everything done. And on this side, that is it is a storyboard for what is now half a pilot.
Cool,
yeah,
great.
I haven't even touched it in probably a month and a half at this point. Yeah.
It's so hard to, yeah. I relate. I have been dragging my feet on a new writing project that I am like afraid to. I don't know why I'm so afraid. I think just because it's big and I'm like just like long, you know, and I'm just like I don't want to.
Yeah, it's me and my friend Jimmy. We're in the middle of like hammering out an idea that we've been working on now for like 6 months. And I got we just had our Zoom meeting to like go over what needs to be done. And when things become more complicated, when I have to like alter certain parts of the plot, like that, like it's almost it feels like surgery in a way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your ideas?
It's essentially. Like the main plot point is that there is a school that is about to be closed due to failing grades, and that becomes like a point, like an element of stakes for everybody to like get their together, and but that wouldn't happen in the real world. But however, what would happen, which thankfully I recently started reading a book called Weapons of Mass Destruction by Kathy O'Neill, and she talks about like the whole premise of the book is that all these algorithms that are being developed are leading to like the detrimental effects of algorithms that are being developed to make life more convenient, and their threat to democracy and all that. And one of the early examples that she has of like a bad example of or the detrimental effects of algorithms is that this a school, like a woman, and she's a teacher in like a DC school district. She lost her job because like the median grade that she had to like reach, her classmates didn't reach it. So like, yeah, she was like a very well respected teacher.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I could just like adjust that.
Oh, interesting. So, but your pilot is
Yeah.
about the school trying to get it together to
It,
save itself.
that's there's more to it, but like that's like the main plot point, that it was like that. Yeah, this wouldn't work in the real world, and the characters aren't fully developed yet. Which character is just that I think that just has this, to get character right for me. Like I have to be in like probably like 3 or 4 table reads later before everything like leaps out. Like everything's
Okay.
like, all right, this is how. Yeah, because that's yeah. I was like, I think that was something. I didn't have a professional writing background. I didn't go to film school or anything, so it's
Hmm.
like character. Yeah, yeah. I'm not the champion at that quite yet.
Are you happy that you moved to LA? Do you feel like there's more opportunities and stuff?
I I wish I moved after I started getting okay. And even then, I still have a long way to go, and the stage time to get here is very very competitive to get. And it's
Hmm.
just I just feel like I was able to get up 3 times a night in New York and still have a life and still yeah. Whereas I don't know. I am happy because of the weather, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But you
Yeah.
think that you've been able to like improve a lot um being there, even
Yeah.
though the everything's more spread out and cool. Great.
I feel like I've gotten tougher in like a certain way. Like my skin is thicker just from getting the kicked out of me at all times emotionally.
Do you
But
think that the sensibilities of the comedians are different?
yeah, that's I think more or less the same. Like
Cool.
I look back at as far as you have your club mics in New York, which are no different than the club mics in LA. Funny is funny. And then you have like the Brooklyn alt scene and like the Creek in the Cave, which is very similar to like your East Side mics.
Okay.
Or like I don't know if you ever did you ever get to do chat. I don't know if you ever did Chatterbox out here.
No.
No.
I've done very little stand up in LA. When I
Okay.
go, I mean, I've done like one show that I absolutely loved. But yeah, I've done very little. Usually when I go out to LA, I just stay with my writing partner and we like schedule a bunch of meetings while I'm there and we just like work and write together because we tend to have an easier time starting new projects when we're in the same room.
Yeah.
And then we separate and then like finish them, which is a long process. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't really I just yeah, I sort of feel it out and if there's any good opportunities, I'll take them, but I don't like I'm not like, "Oh, I'm going to do a ton of stand up," you know.
Yeah. There's a lot of good shows out here, but again, there's like a long line. I think I heard somewhere like the Chatterbox Comedy Night leading up to the pandemic, which is an awesome show. I strongly recommend getting a tape in if you like next time you're out here. But like that was like a 3 month wait.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I
But I
think
mean,
Caitlin Palufo did that show.
yeah, she's wonderful.
Yeah, I saw her a few, maybe like 2 years before the pandemic. I saw her get up at the in the main room of Flappers, and she just leveled the place. Yeah.
Great. She's awesome.
Oh yeah, just fantastic. Oh yeah, but you and her came up the other day because I was talking. Do you know Liz Glazer?
I don't know.
No. Okay. She's been in L.A. for as long as I was. She just moved back east. She's in. She brought up like she respected my work ethic because I was doing 50 sets in 50 days. And I was like, oh no, that was Emily Winter. And I was talking about
Right.
how towards the end of that was when Caitlin, that was when she booked Colbert, and it was just like, oh, that's what you need to do to get good. Like it's the fact that we're doing all these sets. Yeah.
Yeah, she I mean she is also a prodigy. So she's like got two things that are wonderful. She's like has so much innate talent and is so wonderful, but she also works her tail off like
Oh
more
yeah.
than anyone I've seen. So like it's like that combo I think, which yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
because she knows that that's what she like. That's what she wants to do for her career, and
Yeah.
she just does it, and she's awesome at it. And yeah.
Well, it's funny because I almost said out loud she's a beast, and then I remembered the joke from her Colbert set.
Yeah. She actually has stickers that say Beast.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, it's just God. Do you and Chris ever with the pandemic go on? Do you and Chris ever think about like the possibility of leaving New York?
We would be completely open to moving to LA if there was an opportunity
Yeah.
that, yeah. But we love it here. And
Yeah.
I mean the weather sucks right now,
Yeah.
but I just, yeah, I mean, part of me wants to move to the Midwest, but we're not going to do that. We're just not going to do that. And I think it will be easier for comedians and writers to work from anywhere after this pandemic,
Yeah.
but I still don't think we're going to do it. Yeah. So I don't know. I love Brooklyn. I love how accessible everything is.
Yep.
I love I love the just sort of air of intellectualism, which can sometimes be like stifling a little bit, but like I love that, and I don't want to leave it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure that if I had the opportunity to work on something cool in LA, I would like really enjoy it, because Chris and I are obsessed with beach volleyball and we could play all year. So that would be like one great thing. And I do love green smoothies, so that would be another great thing. Yeah. I'm sure it would be fine, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't move to move.
Yeah. I also I do find like with all this talk, I feel like a lot of New York comics have been moving to Chattanooga, and
Really?
LA comics to Austin. I don't exactly know why Chattanooga. I think just like the proximity of clubs to cities with clubs that are open, whereas in Austin, like Joe Rogan is talking about opening up a new club there. But
I didn't know that any New York comics are moving to Chattanooga.
I've heard that. I don't remember I couldn't name names off the top of my head.
That's cool. Okay.
But
yeah.
But I do find that with all of the hardships that both cities are going through, it is the most resilient people in the world that make both cities run. And I do think like betting on New York and LA I think it's a safe bet.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong, because like the entertainment hub, there's still going to be the entertainment hubs, but I think if you had a reason to leave, like, or if Chris and I wanted to start a family or something, like those would be reasons to go somewhere cheaper. And good for those people. It's like awesome. I think it's really exciting that for a lot of people the world has opened up, and they can, like we have friends that just moved to Asheville, North Carolina, and they just decided like we can do this. Like Brooklyn is suffocating us, and we're gonna do it, and like good for them.
Yeah, that's cool. Something I don't miss about living in Brooklyn. Like like the apartments here. Like I just feel like there's more space.
And
like,
like, and you're able to live alone. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it a one bedroom?
Yeah, studio.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just it's I just found that like even to have a house with like a backyard with 3 people is about the same as living in a tiny cramped 3-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I remember living in Upper Manhattan, even, which was going back to my college days. That's still, like here, I just think the standard of living is way better. Ideally, I wouldn't like to drive everywhere, but yeah.
Where do your parents live? They're in New York, right?
Yeah, they're on the Upper West Side.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Are they into the fact that you moved across the country?
Yeah, I think they're more open to. They once saw me get up at the Improv. Like I took them to lab work, and I had like a really, really good set, and they were like, "Oh, okay, so he's getting better."
Good.
The last time they saw me, I got up on a bringer show at Stand Up New York. I was one of the last people up. I bombed. Like that was one of the first times I bombed in front of a real audience, even though it was a bringer. Like that's
Right.
up for debate, but still, like that was one of the first times like I really, really ate it in front of like non-comics, and it hurt.
Yeah.
like
yeah.
I don't think my mom meant it in a bad way, in like a malicious way or anything. But when we left, she was like, "Maybe comedy isn't for you."
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
And sad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So what did she say this time?
No, she was impressed, and yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, now my parent now like every couple weeks we're on the phone. She's like, "Yeah, I couldn't be brave enough to do comedy." And
that's really sweet. What do your parents do?
My mom is a psychologist, so she's working out at home, through Zoom, and my dad is a financial consultant.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're
Cool.
they're doing okay. They're not going insane. They have two dogs that are always barking when I'm on the phone with them.
Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have a sister. Oh, you're the one asking all the questions. No, yes, I do have a sister, and she is in Portugal of all places. And
wow,
yeah.
cool. Is she like bummed that she can't come home, or is she happy to be there?
Sort of happy to be there. Sort of both. Like I think
Yeah.
she'd like to visit, but she I know she was one of the few people I could think of off the top of my head that left after Trump got elected, and yeah, her and her husband, they started a family who I have I have a wonderful niece, and I have
wow.
I have a nephew on the way now, which is exciting.
Awesome. Congrats.
Yeah.
Why did they choose Portugal?
I couldn't tell you.
Have you visited? It's amazing.
Not yet. I have heard it's beautiful.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
It sucks that that's like a 5 hours to New York. Probably like a 11 hour flight to Lisbon. And
yeah,
she's in Porto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty.
Cool.
Yeah,
overall, I feel very, very lucky that my parents, they both tested positive for the antibodies without ever exhibiting a symptom.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Did they get their vaccines yet?
Not yet. They tried setting up an appointment, but they accidentally set up an appointment all the way in the northern end of the Bronx, and they tried to get one just closer, so they wouldn't have to take the subway.
Yeah, smart.
Is your family still in Wisconsin?
I'm from Illinois,
That's
and
right. Chicago.
My sister is in Chicago, and my parents are currently in Florida.
Okay, right on.
Yeah. That's where they just drove down there. They got down there yesterday, and they're staying for a month. And Chris and I are going to get tested 3 times and go down there.
Okay.
We're getting tested once on our way down, or once the day before we leave, and then 2 times. 1 rapid test and 1 longer test in Miami, and then we'll get down there and hopefully have peace of mind. Because gotta get out of here for a minute. Yeah,
it's I got a little bit at first. Back in April, the freeways were completely clear, so I would just go on drives all over LA County and see all these things that I've never seen before.
Cool.
Just effortlessly. And then I went because at the very, very, very beginning of the July surge. In fact, no, the surge hadn't even started yet. It started by the time I went up to Lake Tahoe for the first time.
Cool.
And it was beautiful, but it was also just a realization that this is a thing that we are not going to escape, and we have probably another 6 months of this, 6 months to a year.
Yeah, it's so interesting how like in the beginning of it there was no traffic, which
Yeah.
makes sense, but now it's like back. Is that
Yeah.
the same in LA?
Oh yeah.
But like
That's
where's everybody going?
I've literally that is a punchline to a bit I am working on right now.
I don't understand
Yeah.
it. Every time I get on the road, I'm like, how is this happening? Like, yeah, it's very weird.
It's yeah.
I heard this awesome thing that in San Francisco, where they were doing this study, I'm sure it was all big cities, but like when the pandemic hit, birds in San Francisco started singing more beautifully complex mating songs because the noise pollution wasn't there. So they were able to, like, typically they're just sort of screaming their mating calls. And so they can't be as complicated as the birds would like them to be. And so the mating calls got more diverse and interesting and intricate and yeah, which is very, I mean, sad that they're typically screaming them, but I just wanted to stay like that.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's sort of like on the boats that are like cross the ocean. Something that I find fascinating about whales is that when they do like echo communication, what is it, sonic?
Mm-hmm.
So like normally under ideal circumstances, they could be heard all across the ocean, with like from one end of the earth to the other, which fascinates me.
Yeah.
But they get there's noise pollution from the ships in the ocean, like from the shipping lanes. Yeah.
Humanity is a cancer.
Yeah. And boy, are
We're
we
so
getting it
bad.
now.
Ugh. Yeah, I know. It's like so hard to be a human knowing that we are the problem.
Yeah. Then but yeah, like air pollution went way down at the beginning of this. There
Mm-hmm.
were days where I would step outside, just like breathe in like the hugest breath of fresh air. And mind you, this is Los Angeles. We're not exactly known for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
your air quality is, I'm surprised at like how bad New York has been lately in the winter and everything. I just thought it was better here, I guess, but not really. I'm gonna look it up right now.
yeah.
They have it on. Oh, it's good, I guess. It's good most days. That's,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I know the weather app they show you like the air
Yeah.
quality.
I remember the last time I was in LA and it was like bad, 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 bad.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Oh yeah, and there was I remember the first visible forest fire, first visible wildfire, and to breathe, like it stung your throat, and it's like, why do people live here? Like, why do like I wouldn't live here if it wasn't for the fact that the entertainment industry was here.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way about New York. I just don't think like they're just so hard. And
Yeah,
if you don't have to live there, what are you doing?
I
Or you know?
I do find maybe it's because I'm a lifelong New Yorker. Like, if I wanted to, I would. By comparison, I was not doing comedy for a long time when I moved, but like when I was going to mics out there, if I wanted a break, I could just step foot in a random, like I knew the bars to go to if I wanted to just talk with like an interesting stranger.
Mm-hmm.
I also had more friends outside of comedy, and I felt like New York has more character than LA.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Although that I think that's like I'm painting a picture, like I'm painting with a broad stroke, because it's like
Yeah.
I'm not originally from here, and I would imagine there would be a lot of
Stuff you
yeah.
would know about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, it's
Do you have any pets there?
I do not. I was very very briefly dating a girl who had birds.
Oh,
So that was
that's weird.
yeah. No, I didn't think it was. The birds grew on me. I'm sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sad. I'm sad. We're not. I don't know. Yeah.
You're not together with
Yeah.
the bird
Yeah.
lady?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Were you dating during the pandemic?
Yeah. But it was they were yeah, birds are they're surprisingly they're fun animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like once
Do
you get
they like being in the cages, or are they like cool with that?
like when they want out, they sort of like pace back and forth by the door, like you could see.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, one of the birds had is like still like a baby, and
Mm.
like it wouldn't even fly yet. So like, cause its wings were clipped, and it would like run back and forth on the ground. Yeah,
So sweet.
yeah, yeah. Like
Is it hard dating during the pandemic?
it's hard dating. Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is a very. I think the internet age has a lot to do with that. Just like the fact that like smartphones have changed the game. Like it's much more difficult to talk to just talk to people, get to know people naturally.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense. Do you ever date comedians?
I yeah. Oh my god.
Does not work out well.
Well, hasn't blown up in my face yet.
That's good.
I
That's what.
God, I this is I had a bit about having a crush on a comedian
Mhm.
who I described as the worst, as a comic, as a person. You ever like someone who sucks personally and professionally? It sounds mean, but she heckled my sets. I had a crush on a heckler, so believe me, I was the victim. That bit, it took 8 months of doing it before that blew up in my face, and she had a sense of humor about it, thankfully. But
Wow.
yeah,
Why did you have a crush on somebody who sucked?
it was more of an exaggeration. I didn't think she was the worst, but did heckle my sets a lot. 'Cause, like when you and Chris first started dating, were there people who were just like you shouldn't date comedians?
Yeah, but I think that, I mean, you hear a lot of people say that,
Yeah.
but nobody told me like stay away
What
from
are you
him. Like he's
doing?
they're like, "Oh my god, you're dating him.
Yeah.
That's awesome." So, I mean, just cuz he's like so wonderful and sweet
Yeah.
and I think is like very well liked. So,
Yeah.
so no one was like, "Oh no." Also like it is just weird. I think it's just a like I'm glad I had been doing comedy for a couple years,
Yeah.
but there's still that power dynamic of like I was very scared to do comedy around him in the beginning,
Okay.
and I think I would have gone on longer had we not like suffered sort of a tragedy together, and then it
Yeah.
kind of puts everything in perspective. And but I remember just being like terrified and like bombing and like really just like not feeling like free on stage because I was so scared. And then you do worse because you don't feel, but I was so scared to like look dumb in front of him or look unfunny because he had been doing comedy for so much longer. And then that just backfired and
Okay.
it was worse. Yeah. But we got over that pretty quickly.
Yeah. I like stories like yours because it proves the naysayers wrong about like, oh, comics shouldn't date because it's I don't think there is enough love in this world for us to set a standard to where we're able to find it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, I totally get it. Like, you don't want like the scene like crawling with your exes. Like, comedy's
Yeah.
hard enough, it just
Yeah.
makes it harder. But on the other hand, what are you supposed to do? It's where you meet wonderful people, and yeah.
Oh yeah, like the last couple years, it's like I've met some of my best friends doing this, and
Yeah.
I don't know, like sometimes people have their fallouts, but that doesn't mean that shouldn't disrupt your craft.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I would definitely feel disrupted if I
Yeah.
saw like an ex at
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Oh
comedy
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have feelings.
Yeah. I have not dated enough comics to have that sort of again. I've dated one, and the other the comic from the Crush bit, as it's now famously known. You could probably assume that no, we did not end up together.
Oh.
Do you know how she found out, by the way, it was about her? During the pandemic, she offered to give me a haircut, which I was reluctant about. And then she told me she said that I should give a lock of my hair. I could give a lock of my hair to my crush, and I was just like, all right, play ball. Let's do this. This isn't gonna blow up in my face at all.
Wait, what? So she was like, I'll give you a haircut and you can give a lock of your hair to your crush?
Yes.
And so you just gave it to her?
As she was walking away, I tapped her on the shoulder and I was like, so do you want this? Thinking that she might have known, and she was like,
yeah,
no thanks. And she just walked off.
That's a funny story.
Oh, yep.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
So then she was like, wait, so you're doing a joke about me?
Yeah, she initially, because for the longest time, the only reason I don't feel bad about I don't feel awful about the joke is because like a lot of people wanted to know who it was about, and they a lot of times they would interrupt my set like, who's the bit, name names, and she joined that chorus of people. So I was like,
weird.
No, it was fun. I think I got more. I argue that we both got what we deserved.
So are you not friends anymore?
Yeah, we haven't spoken since she moved out of LA. So.
Oh, all right. So then you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, whether or not she'll be back, which fingers crossed, maybe she will be. But
oh, you still like her?
No, I wouldn't say I still like her, but she's I don't hate her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I root for her.
Sounds like you have a close-knit group of pals. I mean, I can't imagine being at a mic and having anyone care about what I'm saying.
No, you had what was Back Fat still going on before this?
Yes, it was. Ugh.
Okay, and that was 5 or 6 years in.
So that would be 8. We would have had our 8-year anniversary in the fall. But yeah, I think when things return, there are some shows that I would like to do with Back Fat. So Back Fat encompassed a bunch of different variety shows and stuff, but I don't think I want it to be a monthly thing anymore. I want to do my annual 64 comedian one-liner madness show for sure. But I think if I go back to producing, I want to do a weekly, because after producing a weekly, a monthly, and a quarterly, I can safely say that you lose the momentum if you're not running a weekly. The quarterly was great because it had a beer sponsorship, so that was always packed because you got free beer. But it's hard work to get people to come out once a month. Whereas with the weekly, I think the expectation from the producer end and the comedians is lower because they know it's a weekly and they just hope that, there's 15 people there, and people will just kind of drop in every week, and it became a routine and it was just easier. So I would love, I think, ideally to have a new weekly when things come back.
Right on. Yeah, what was local something? It was just north of it was on Bergen, just north of Carroll.
Oh,
no, wait.
Yes, 61 Local was our original location.
That was the original.
We moved to Union Hall, and then we moved to Manhattan. We were at it's gonna drive me crazy. This place that closed. They closed from the pandemic, unfortunately.
Yep, there's a long list of those.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
Maggie Champagne, she posted a list on Facebook of everything that closed during the pandemic maybe 2 months ago. and it was just a mile long.
Yeah.
Yeah, my local diner, a place called Pier 72 on 72nd and 72nd and West End. That's gone.
It's really sad. I'm like, yeah, when this
Yeah.
is over, like we're all gonna come out of hiding and be like, what's left among
Yeah.
the rubble, you know? Yeah, it's crazy.
But I do think there is going to be sort of because this happened after the 1918 pandemic that led to the Roaring Twenties. I think there's going to be a decade of prosperity before really hits the fan again.
You mean environmentally?
Because at the end of the Roaring Twenties, you had the Depression, and then wow,
I'm not sure that was like causation though. You know,
somebody compared because back then a lot of what led to the Depression was the railroad and the oil companies sort of caving in on themselves and
right.
My dad said,
but it wasn't like booze and comedy, you know.
Yeah, no. But yeah, my dad sent me a article I've been meaning to read about comparing the the social media companies, the tech companies, to the oil companies, I'm curious about that because I sometimes feel like the social media bubble's is on the brink of popping.
Interesting. How so?
I don't know. I wonder. There are so many apps right now, and so many people are getting very just burnt out from being connected to these things that are designed to capitalize off the worst of what you're capable of feeling, your jealousy, your anger, your rage. And
I kind of feel like that's like where TikTok comes in a really good way, because I feel like of all the apps, TikTok is the only one that just brings me pure joy.
Okay.
But it's because I have my algorithm designed that way. Like all I have is like dogs doing funny stuff. You know what I mean? And if I started and like a little bit of like people dancing. And none of that makes me feel sad. But like, I don't know. I just I think I agree with that. I think there's fatigue. There's like Instagram fatigue.
Yeah.
There's, Facebook fatigue. But I think that like TikTok feels fresh to me because it's truly just like little bits of joy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what like Quibi was like, what can we like take from this like trend, and then but they didn't deliver on little bits of joy. They really didn't.
I didn't.
I don't know if you if I did the 3-month trial of Quibi when it came out, because of course I'm like interested, and when Quibi was like starting, it was like, oh, do you want to pitch a show, blah 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 blah, okay, like sure. I mean, nothing got made, nothing obviously was accepted, but I just wanted to see what they were up to, and it was like, well, this is not bringing happiness. I don't know. But I think it like evolves, and it's like so interesting. I wish now that because there was a bubble of people getting writing jobs off Twitter like a long time ago. And then I kind of felt like, what?
No, I do vaguely remember that.
Yeah, and then I kind of felt like it like went down, right? And it was like not a way to get jobs. And then I was like, okay, well, I never cared about Twitter. I probably should have put more effort into Twitter. I definitely should have put more effort into Twitter when it was like a great thing for highlighting writers. But then when that stopped being a trend, I was like, okay, now I'm not even going to worry about it. And now I'm like, wait, I thought we were done with Twitter.
Yeah.
And it's like still like chugging along. And I'm like, oh, I keep making the wrong moves. I don't know. I should just like enthusiastically throw myself into everything. But there's only so many hours in a day. And
yeah. I like to believe the route of writing a bajillion pilots and just submitting them to film festivals or screenwriting competitions that will eventually land you a manager who believes in you.
Yeah. Well, I'm still submitting to contests even though I have a manager.
Okay.
Because I don't think he likes, well, he never said anything. I don't think he likes my script that I wrote with my husband, with Chris, and I mean, he's not doing anything with it. So like, fine. So I'll just try to collect like wins. And also, like, there's so little to do right now as far as like outside validation that I'm like sending that script to every contest, because just to have something like, yeah, it's a good, I don't know. I think it's good to have to just send stuff out, and like the more people that read you, the better. You know?
The is it the horror film? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Right. And I don't know if I'm like nervous to ask my manager, like, how come we don't talk about that? Like, why did you not say anything? Because he's like pretty good about my other stuff. I don't know. I never know how to behave with managers. I still haven't. This one's pretty new, and I still haven't found one that, or I haven't developed a relationship where I feel really like comfortable with one yet. And yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully I really like this guy, so hopefully that will develop, but I don't feel there yet.
Oh yeah. Managers as a whole, I had one person who claimed to be my manager. She claimed that she said that I should remove the first O in my last name. That might make me more bookable. And I was like,
That's
are
the
you?
Dumbest I've ever heard.
Yeah, so I did that, and like 3 months later, touch base, never heard a word. And I was like, all right, I changed my identity for no one.
Now that's such a weird thing. Yeah. It's not even like you have a super hard name.
Yeah. I'm sorry. If Zach Galifianakis could get work, so could Ian Ira Rousso.
Yeah. Do you go by Ian Ira Rousso?
Now I'm a 3-name comic now.
What was the impetus for that?
I was like, you know what? I'm going to steer into the swerve even more. I think it just sounds more presentable. And so I'm thinking of like 3-name comics that like did very well for themselves over, God, I'm thinking about the Comedy Store docuseries. Who was in it?
I mean, I don't think that they did well because they had 3 names.
No, it was not just because there were 3 names. Yeah, they were also murderers on stage.
Wow, Ian Ira Rousso. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun. It rolls off the tongue. People get used to it. It's like
absolutely.
Sushi.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it's just yeah, good. So the script won first place. The horror script won first place in
just a small contest.
Okay.
I can't even remember the name of it, in the fall. And then we placed in another one. And so I sent out there was just some small ones that I did in the fall, and then I just sent it out to some bigger ones recently. So, if we could get something, I don't know, that would be great. I honestly never thought about like making the movie ourselves, but like I would just really love for it to be made so badly.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the skill set, although I mean, we definitely don't have the money.
Yeah.
But I bet Chris has the skills to do it.
To like direct?
Yes.
Yeah.
To like make it happen and direct it. But yeah, we just probably, I guess we would just need like $1 million.
Okay, that's a laughably low sum of money compared to what
it normally costs. I have no idea what the budget for that would be because I'm not a producer in that regard. But yeah,
I was reading this is so long ago. I was reading Thomas Lennon's book, Writing Movies for Fun and Profit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been so long I read it, but one of the few things I remember, he was talking about how his scripts cost $1 million per page to shoot.
Oh my God.
But those are like big budget films that end up winning 1 million awards.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, you'll be surprised how many people are out there that you have an idea that they'll believe in. Like even I went to a Q&A with Jeff Garlin of all people. And like he was talking about like, if I see you and if I believe in you, I'll do whatever it takes to get you on the right track.
Oh, that's that's so
Yeah.
wonderful.
Of course, yeah,
That's really uplifting.
Yeah. Of course, he left. I left that interview I left that Q&A after I answered a question. I don't remember what. It was something like something about like I've been doing comedy for 5 years, and I was like nervous and stuttering a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I asked him like, what should I be doing while navigating the scene? He cut me off, and he didn't mean this in a negative way in the slightest. But he was like, "You're not navigating anything. You're And I was like, "Whoa, Jeff." But he was like, "I don't mean you're a person. I don't mean you have a soul. But for the next 5 to 10 years, you will be a comedian." And I was like, "All right, I could get down with that."
Yeah. He's just being funny.
Yeah, he was 100%. I don't want to frame it. I'm not trying to frame it as Jeff Garland was going after me, but
sometimes it bugs me when as somebody who would be, I mean, if I had been doing comedy for the last year, be coming up on her 9-year anniversary, I think it's super short-sighted when I get what old timers mean when they're like, you got to put in your time.
Yeah.
Of course. But why? I mean, people that I know that have, that were doing comedy for 2 or 3 years get Colbert. Okay.
Yeah.
That they're on TV. They're not not everyone needs to do your requisite 15 years of comedy, Jeff. Some people don't. And I don't think I'm necessarily one of those people. I think I definitely was not. I need the time to get better, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
I think most of this is most of getting good at comedy just involves being comfortable with yourself and being comfortable in front of an audience.
Absolutely.
And I think that's easier for a lot of people than it is. I don't know. It's something. My process, part of it was getting up on stage a million times, more times than I ever. I do think I got more I got more doing less. I did more with less this year than I did. It was 2019 when I did a little bit over 1,000 sets. But
wow.
Yeah, even though most of the material I don't do anymore, I still feel more comfortable on a stage because of it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's so many sets. That's incredible.
Yeah, don't do 1,000 sets in a year. Yeah, to focus on dating, having a life, putting in more hours, bettering your career outside of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I think.
Yeah, because I regret that. I don't want to temp anymore.
Mm.
I would rather be allocating my skill set towards something I believe in, towards something I love.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
It's such but yeah, don't do 1,000 sets. People kept praising me for that.
Gosh. Wow. What do you think is the best number to do?
I would say 2 a night. I say 2 a night that if you're trying something out, you get off stage and me, I always, not only do I have a notebook and pens on me, but I also have a red pen for doing edits. And if I think of something, I'll go somewhere else and try that edit and see if that punch up works any better.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I think everybody's process is different.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Do you know Kat Alvarado?
That name's familiar. I think we were on a festival together.
Okay. Cause she was on this a couple days ago. She was talking about how something she does with her process, she'll say something on stage and listen to the playback and just cut the added fat. And she thinks that just makes everything, that cuts the process. It's a little bit less time consuming than doing a bajillion sets and seeing what works.
I also record and listen back. Yeah. It's painful, but
Yeah.
it works.
Only recently. In fact, arguably until I started doing this. Like I hate my talking voice a little bit less.
Yeah. Yeah. When I go in with an idea but not a fully formed joke, I really beat around the bush and like stutter and uhs
Yeah.
and ums, and sometimes I don't make sense, and like I hate hearing that.
That's I remember like maybe 3 years ago there was an iPhone recording of my first set at Fifth Estate of all places. And I was listening to the playback of it, and it was just like, I can't finish this. Delete. That piece of history is gone, and for the better.
It's too scarring. Yeah. Too scarring. Oh my goodness.
And I just find something that helps for me being comfortable up top is just like riffing about just whatever weird is going on in the room, or just like even like I think right now it's easier because the places where they're doing comedy right now is so absurd. Like a little bit later, there's an open mic going on outside some shipping containers down in San Pedro, where the port of Los Angeles is.
Oh my God.
It's just like, I would never do this before March 11th.
Yes.
Never.
Oh, that's insane. That's really funny.
Is there anybody able to pull off outdoor comedy, like not now, but like any other points during the winter?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't seeing anything. I mean, I think like most people that had stuff going in the summer stopped by early November. But I'm sure Stand Up New York is like, they're doing all this like barely legal shit that like I don't think is cool. Like, so, like in churches and on the subway.
I saw
shit.
The subway stuff. Yeah.
I mean, whatever. You know, I'll probably like, I don't care if I don't get booked by them. They're being dumbasses. I think it's like very cool and funny.
I have mixed opinions. I get the safety element, but from the perspective, the Pete Davidson thing on SNL, I see the frustration in the sense that all these like clubs and businesses are just losing so much money.
I mean, they were hemorrhaging money even before the pandemic. So yeah, they're a poorly run, mismanaged piece of club. Okay. Yeah, I used to work I briefly when the pit worked for one of the owners, and he was an actual human nightmare that is. Yeah, and they were already hemorrhaging money. So like this is more for media attention.
Yeah, and they're getting it.
So good for them. I like the booker there. He's a nice guy, but I don't give a about like, you know, the club, like whatever. But yeah, so anyway, to answer your question, they have been doing stuff.
Yeah. I know Daniel Parafan, he was doing sidewalk comedy in New York before that was really a thing here.
You mean at that brewery or whatever? Or,
Did you ever end up doing any of those shows?
I did not do any of the outdoor brewery shows. Okay. I didn't want to.
Gotcha. Okay,
yeah. It's not fun. Like the idea of doing, it's gotta be, if we're not, okay, so it's like people are not going to shows the same way. It's not as important for your career.
Yeah.
So, if it's not gonna like really help your career at this point, it's better be fun. And if it does not bringing me joy, I'm not doing it.
That's a fair way to look at things.
Yeah. I mean, once things go back, then there's the pressure of like, which is good, but like, okay, this could get me a job on something. So it's important to go and do my best and, you know, blah, 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 and also find joy. But yeah, right now it's just, there's no upside for me. Yeah.
That was a reoccurring thing that Jeff Garland kept saying in that Q&A. Always find joy in whatever you're doing.
Oh, good. Yeah. Me and Jeff Garland.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's No, yeah, God, it's I was sad that the Creek and the Cave closed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is the thing that I'm going to hit me hardest with the Creek and the Cave. Whenever I would go to New York, I could always count on the place, get off a plane, go to the Creek, do whatever set I needed to do. But in the bathrooms downstairs were lined with all of these photos from comics that I knew from my first year. And it's like, I feel like that was like a relic to my past. It was almost like stepping into like a little museum. Like, oh, here's Adam Newman. Here's Scotland Green. That's a guy I haven't seen in forever.
Yeah, he doesn't do comedy anymore. Yeah, he does something else that is, I can't remember what it is.
Something adjacent.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, I remembered him being very above average for his age.
Oh, yeah, he's wonderful. Very funny guy, but I think he found something else that
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I also missed the food at the Creek. And that says a lot coming from someone who lives in LA.
Yeah.
Is that? Oh. I was going to say hi to Chris.
Oh, yeah, he is here.
Hey, dog, what's going on?
Let me unplug this.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, man, how are you doing? Staying warm?
Yeah, staying warm, but I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's...
You about call the doctor?
Oh, did they call you?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We have a doctor call.
A couple minutes. We can call back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. No, we've
Well.
yeah. No, it's been over an hour at this point. To talk about remember that thing I said about seamlessly going into the plugs? That was the least seamless. Nah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I will plug myself for
social media, websites, whatever you'd like.
Sure. So my website is emilywintercomedy.com. My Twitter and Instagram are Emily MC Winter. That's Emily McWinter. And my book is One Day Smarter, and it's coming out in September.
Right on. This was so awesome. Thank you. I have a debt of gratitude for you doing this, and it has really been too long. And I wish the world was less screwed up.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to cut it short.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Ian.
All right, for sure.
Bye.
The comic from the Crush bit, as it's now famously known. You could probably assume that, no, we did not end up together.
Oh.
Rate and subscribe.